love it when I get so high and drop that ass so low. Make you sit right here. Now you can't go back home. You love it when I get so high and drop that ass so low. Make you sit right here. Now you can't go back home. You love it when I get so high and drop that ass so low. Make you sit right here. Now you can't go back home. You love it when I get so high and drop that ass so low. Make you sit right here. Now you can't go back home.
I'm drank up and I'm danked up and I'm hella faded. You bend it down and you poke it up and you elevate it. I'm drank up and I'm danked up and I'm hella faded. You bend it down and you poke it up and you elevate it, you elevate it.
I came over, I ain't sober, I'm still drunk, that's hangover. Might run it back when this page over. You the best thing I done slaved over. Gon' arch you back and been way over. It's overdue for that understressing. Over him, now you underdressing. Call me up and I come finessing. Like, ooh, we shot it, what it do, what it don't. Baby, you a queen, you can move how you want. You was rocking with me when I couldn't stay afloat. They ain't never saying nothing wavy to a boat. Like, eyes up, look at me, now I'm the captain. Brought the camera, time for action. Split the legs just like a fraction. Tuck the napkin, time for snacking. You a motherfucking meal. Tell me that it's mine, baby, tell me that it's real. Hit it to the max, well, tell me how it feel. It's gonna be a minute, cause I'm in it for the thrill. Make her feel like heaven, she gon' put me in the wheel. And willingly, I wanna do anything she wanna do. I ain't even wanna boo, but this is what the karma do. It's hard to be apart from you, cause ooh, I
love it when I get so high and drop that ass so low. Make you sit right here. Now you can't go back home. You love it when I get...
What's up? Hey, how are you? My name is Nicholas Grayson. I look fucking terrible. Why doesn't anyone tell me this? Just people are just like, I was in calls all day, and they're like, it's fine. I look like I haven't slept in a million years. And that's true. I look better than Greg Miller does today. Hey, yo! For real, though, I don't know what happened to that dude's eye. What happened to that guy's eye? Does anyone know what happened to Greg's eye? It looks really sick. Is Greg okay? Someone please check on Greg. He says it's chronic from weed? Because he's smoking the chronic? Yeah, yes, as in, like, it's thanks, Chun. Good job. Synarchism, that's the kindest thing you could possibly say to me. Calling me Ernie from Muppet is kind. Also, Greg's been dead for 20 years. That's fucking tough. How did he sire a child if he's been dead for this long? Anyway, hi, I'm Nicholas Grayson, brand editor for fanbyte.com. Sorry, brand editor plus, Jesus. I don't know how many people are here because I don't look at the viewership numbers, but if you are new, which there are a handful of new people in here, I hope that you are thinking about or have already applied to the Fanbyte internship, which is going to be coming back for its third year this summer. I'm really excited to be running the program again. And I've got a couple of guests lined up, and some coworkers of mine have graciously given me the resumes so I can walk through them with y'all. I'm going to try to show you a little bit of what I see when folks apply, because like that's one of the things that, like, when I was applying for stuff, I was like, what the fuck do they see? Like, what does the person who's looking at my application see? So actually Taylor Hicklin, our community manager, is going to be on the stream in a little bit, but while you are in chat, not on the stream, do you mind applying to the job via the link in the website for me? So I don't put anybody on blast. I can just like show your application on Greenhouse. Taylor, just go to the website, go to fanbyte.com, look for the thing, and then thank you so much. I appreciate your service. But the beginning here, I will kick it over to our first guest, who unfortunately worked here for a handful of months, and then I kind of take responsibility for her presence kind of online broadly and generally. It's one Renata Price of Kotaku.com, small indie games website. Renata, you're on the air.
Hi. That was the fucking longest intro I've ever heard, you motherfucker. I was
don't know.
desperate to be let out. Let me just say real quick, Nicholas Grayson, arguably one of my best friends, dresses like a fucking children's television show host, and I will not hear any slander for the way they look from them or from others. Let me just say that.
I took the Muppet thing as a compliment.
No, I do too, but I want to make it very fucking clear that is the intended goal. That's what we are aiming for here.
Yeah, the goal. Sorry, Ren, can you talk some more?
Hi.
Ren was loud. Discord is really sick. No, that's not on you. That's on me because the sliders are sick.
I was also yelling.
I'm being told.
I was also shouting.
I mean, we're all yelling, aren't we? All the time.
I mean, listen, as a shrieking woman, which is what I identify as, a lot of people kind of ask me kind of how I fit into kind of the social arrangement we all live in. Yeah. And I would describe myself as a shrieking, irritating woman to listen to.
Yeah, I would agree. Ren, can you... Oh, no, you sent it to me. Thank you so much. So yeah, we're gonna... Ren, while I pull up your resume, do you want to kind of talk about your time here? You can, like... I would actually actively appreciate if you would talk about the worst things that happened while you were here. I'm serious, because like I feel like you get way more out of people get way more out of hearing negative things than they do about hearing about positive things. Like you coming on here and being like, it was a life-changing experience, and this is what you sound like in my head. This was a life-changing experience.
It's really transphobic that you would make me sound like that.
You're right. My life was experience, and my life's better because of the job. That's cool and great or whatever. But like, what were the hard things about the kind of the application process? And I also would legitimately like to talk about the ways that I've changed the application process, especially in comparison to the first year when you applied. So if you don't mind talking a little bit about your time here, that would be cool.
I would actually say that it's be a weird thing to point out, and I think it'll tell you a lot about what this actually is, like what Fanbyte's internship program actually entails. The hardest point for like me was the editorial intern had a lot of access and a lot of ability to kind of shape what I wanted to be doing. And sometimes that led to me feeling a little bit directionless, but I will counter that slight directionless feeling with the fact that I also like had the opportunity to like reach out to people and be like, hey, I feel kind of rudderless. Can I like have a little bit more explicit guidance? And that was like basically always given. Well, I like that you've put my fucking Final Fantasy ass portrait up next to you. I appreciate it. I mean,
at least it looks like you now, you know?
At least it does look like me. That's a really good and strong point. And I also think that, like, the reality is that the intern at Fanbyte has, I would say, a lot more influence than interns usually do. And there were, like, definitely, like, conflicts of desire, right? There were times where I wanted to do something and, like, the rest of staff was like, maybe not. And like, that was a huge learning experience for me as like collaboration and like being told fucking no.
Yeah. And like, I think that's one of the things that was toughest for me in my first job. I think I'm trying to figure out where to put this. That's good. Right there.
Yeah, put it right. Perfect. Put it right under the chain. Perfect. Can you move a little bit to the left?
Left? Yeah, okay, right here. Oh yeah, it's kind of not centered, huh?
Yeah, my problem is if like that is perfect, right? I want the corner of the
and
R.
And like 906 pixels, kind of like there.
Top left corner of the R to kind of like contact with like the highlight on my shirt. I feel like that would be just about perfect.
Kind of like here.
Yeah, that feels really, really good because now it's left aligned and not like totally centered, and so it's like left aligned for the whole frame as opposed. Yeah, this is the rule of thirds.
This is exactly the rule of thirds.
I love graphic design and doing it.
It's my passion. I think one of the most important things that I learned, especially in my first, I think my internship the internship singular that I did when I was in college, I worked at Fullscreen, which is, I think, a dead company now. It used to be a multi-channel network that owned Rooster Teeth, and I think they are owned by Warner now at this point. But my time there was kind of weird because it was the peak of early 2010s, like mid 2010s, when there was just an unlimited amount of money coming in for video stuff because nobody knew what the fuck they were doing. So AT&T was like, yeah, we'll give you millions of dollars to, I don't know, send like 6 girls that people only kind of watch on a national tour around the country. Like, I don't know, maybe. So like that wasn't particularly helpful. But once I actually started at Little Dot, which was the first job I had out of college, and like I started getting told no, or like started having to follow some directives that I might have actually personally disagreed with, that was way more instructive for me than anything else, because you have to understand what you don't like to truly understand what you want, and you also have to understand what you don't like to know what you're good at.
Yeah.
Right? Because not being able to do the things that you want to do, if you're being like told no frequently, makes you passionate about doing those things. Right? So I think there is a lot of usefulness and a lot to gain out of being told no, especially when you're young. I think the other thing that like, and I guess it would be probably better for you to talk about this, especially considering that you've like, you went from here to finishing school and now you work at Kotaku, like, you fucking lost my train of thought. Oh, you had context on the things that like you came into your time at Kotaku knowing what you want to do because you knew what you could not do here. And also, it is so much easier to make mistakes when you are still in school or freshly out of school than it is for me, for example, to make a mistake when I am 26 years old and in a completely different position than I was 5 years ago.
I mean, listen, you can still make mistakes outside of school. I stepped on a piece of broken glass earlier today.
And that's on you. I still don't. How did you break the espresso glass?
It fell off of my. Okay. The first espresso glass I broke because it fell. The second espresso glass broke because I did sit on it.
You sat on? Why was it on a chair? Or was it not on a chair and you sat on the counter?
No. It was on a chair. And I cleaned off the chair, and I was like, I've cleaned off this chair. I'm going to go sit in this chair. And it was not cleaned off. I sat on the espresso glass, and it did go flying onto the floor where it did shatter. And I cleaned it up. And then 2 weeks later, I did step on a piece of broken glass.
That's tough. You got to get a robot.
I'm always saying this. So I actually think that the thing that you did just do, Nikki, was we kind of did give the impression that the whole fanbite internship was me being told no constantly.
Well, that's because it's what it was.
Which was, in fact, I would say the opposite of what it actually was, which was me being told yes pretty frequently.
Yes.
Which is cool. Which was like really cool and like definitely encouraged me to like pursue what I was passionate about and like helped me really develop like the skill set that I have like used most frequently and I'm most proud of, right? I asked to do a lot of like weird criticism and previews coverage, and like the work that I did at Fanbyte in previews and reviews coverage is like what laid the foundation to the reviews I did at Kotaku, which like got me fucking nominated for Journalist of the Year. And like that was because I had that encouragement to explore those things at Fanbyte and actually had like good support to do that. And so like I don't want to give people the impression that like the whole time I was told no. It's like being the intern at Fanbyte was like a really cool opportunity to basically go, this is what I want to do, this is what I'm interested in doing, here's a specific idea related to it. And anytime that a specific idea was shot down, there was always like, we're not going to do this specifically, but we can like help you develop this particular skill set that you want.
Right.
And like that was huge for me and like was like very, very foundational to my development, and also like now like how I approach things. And yes, happy earmuffs. I am a staff writer now. This happened
At
about
Kotaku.com.
at Kotaku.com. This happened about 6 months ago. And
That sounds wrong. I know it's right,
true.
but it sounds wrong.
I was hired in August of my first day was August 16th, 2021. I have worked there for a little bit over 5.5 months. Haha.
Lit.
I
I
am
think
a staff writer. Haha.
I think that there is like one of the things that and we'll very quickly get into your resume, which I think is just as bad as it was when I saw it the first time, which I appreciate.
Let me be real fucking clear. Because you did ask me to talk about the application process. I hate to interrupt. I'm not good at any of the parts that aren't interviewing.
No.
And writing cover letters.
Yeah.
Interviewing and writing cover letters, excellent. Some would say I'm stellar, one of the best in the business.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to making a resume, I remember when I first got hired and was like, "Oh yeah, Nikki," or it was a job application. When I was talking to Nikki after, I was like, "Oh yeah," I was like, "Yeah, I have my resume," and Nikki went, "If you put a gun to my head, I could not tell you a single thing about you."
And I still can't. Let me go.
It's not good.
Over here, go to video, go to window capture, and then click on this, and then click on chrome.exe. Now,
this is kind of what not to do.
This is the opposite of what I want. If you're in here and you're like, oh, I haven't submitted my application yet, like, what does Nikki want? What are they looking for? Not this. This is literally the opposite of what I want from you. This is nothing. This is nothing. Like, this is, first of all, a buck wild way to start a resume. Do not tell me about your skills first. I don't care yet because I don't know who you are or what you do.
And you never will.
And I never will because it's not in this resume. So don't do this. Don't put this here. Don't put your skills at the top. Putting it in not reverse chronological order, which is a mistake that I told you about in 2019
to fix. Didn't?
I absolutely did. Yes.
Oh, I did.
Putting it in not RevChron is nuts. Please put it in reverse chronological order so it's easier for me to understand, because looking at this and being like, July 2019, what year is it? That confuses me. Tell me what you're doing now. That's the thing I care about the most. And Ren is so much more layered than the worst Google Docs resume template.
Let me be clear. This literally is a Google Docs resume template. I will not.
Yes, I know.
I will not defend my resume in any way. And here's the thing I'll tell you. I feel like I'm pretty good at giving people advice, RE internships, and jobs. I've got my hit rate is, I would say, very high.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely high, some would say. And I would say my area of expertise is, like I said earlier, cover letters and interviews. Because this shit was
pretty bad.
Not good.
The reason why, and I've said this before, the reason why I even thought about and considered interviewing Ren is because she just emailed me. And like that is one of the changes that I'll talk about in a little bit, and Ren, I'll let you go in a couple of minutes. But one of the biggest changes that I made for my own personal sanity was removing that aspect of it, because it became very hard for me personally to guarantee that I was actually giving everybody a good amount of time, because every single email that I was getting was buried within people deciding to change embargoes 5 days after giving them, or telling me about how like there was this new Atari Hotel crypto scam or some shit. Like they all fucking look the same in my Gmail inbox, right? So the reason that I moved on from that is so I can give folks a better opportunity to show themselves off on a platform that is literally built to show yourself to me, a person who is hiring you. So yeah, Ren, there's a very quick segment I just want to kind of keep this moving, but if you have any other things to say, I know very graciously you and our 2020 intern Jay have volunteered yourselves to be available via Twitter DMs for folks who are applying. But if you have anything else you want to say.
I do. The biggest piece of advice I can give, and this is related to like both the resume and also like the cover letter bullshit, is that like, as someone who has worked with and has had like a consistent relationship with Fanbyte for a while, the thing that you don't want to do is apply to it like a job you were applying for out of habit. And this is kind of my broad career advice as a whole, is only take shots you really want to fucking take. Because what you're going to do is, if you don't, is you're going to turn in bullshit, and you also aren't going to like show yourself in any meaningful or interesting way. Like you could, if you write a cover letter, which Nikki said not to do, but if you make a video cover letter or like an audio cover letter, right? And you spend your entire time just listing out skills you have, don't do it. It is a waste of your time. What you should be doing is actually grounding what you want to do and grounding that vision and letting your work speak for itself, whether it be clips, school essays you've written, like cool projects you've done, being funny on Twitter. Let that shit speak for itself, as opposed to like really over relying on being like, I know how to use Photoshop. Most fucking people know how to use Photoshop. What do you want to do?
And sorry, very quickly, I also actively tell people to lie about how well they can use programs, because it like people who are not hiring for this job that I am hiring for, that shit matters to them. I'm telling you right now, and I will clip this out and put it out on Twitter. I literally don't care. I'm assuming that the person that I end up hiring will have those skills. So you telling me that you are proficient in Creative Cloud, useless to me.
And also,
I literally don't care.
Also,
however,
you can teach yourself that.
You can also teach yourself that. Christian, Twin Tower 95 in the chat, forklift certification. Tell me about that, though. I am extreme. If for whatever reason you have all of the other skills that I need and you're forklift certified, please tell me that.
So yeah, like just ground who you are first and what you actually want to do, and also like what your vision for the space is, because like the other thing about this internship and about Fanbyte as like a place is that Fanbyte is trying, at least from my semi-outsider's perspective, Fanbyte is trying to do something new, and is like trying to do something exciting and interesting, and is trying to like help define the future of the space, right? If you look at the current staff of fanbyte.com and former staff, you will see some of like the defining voices of a generation, right? We're talking Natalie Flores, we're talking Diego, who just got hired, right? We're talking like fucking incredible people, all of whom have been like major dubs so far, which is to say that like they are deeply invested in cultivating what the future of this space looks like. So give a vision for that. Actually tell them what you think that space should be. And if those visions align, then like not only are you going to have a good time, you are also going to like fucking do really cool shit.
Yeah.
And so that is the core of my advice, is actually know what you want to do to some degree, even if it's not the specific job you want. Know the vision you have for what the world can look like, and then center that first.
Yeah. And just very quickly before, Ren, thank you so much for your time, but on that point, it makes my job easier too if you come in knowing what the fuck you want to do. Because instead of me having to spend the first 2.5 weeks trying to build a curriculum for you, if you know what you want to do, I have a place to start instead of starting from zero, right? That makes your time more like, it makes a better use of your time, and it makes a better use of mine as well. It is a summer internship. The summer is long, but the time is limited, right? It's still 12 weeks. You gotta make the most of it. I can only pay you so much money, you know? So just do the things that Ren has said so far. And Ren, thank you so much for your time.
Of course. And again, if anyone has any questions about the Fanbyte internship or about industry advice as a whole, hit up my DMs. They are open.
Ren, do I have? Nope. I think we took that one out. It's
Wow,
at.
you took me out?
Well, we didn't. I didn't take you out because you're still walking.
Yes, you did.
We switched from Moobot to Nightbot, and I just don't think I moved it over. At Ren or Raven on Twitter.com. Rest in peace, Ren. Can I get an F in the chat for Ren?
I'm dead.
Ren, thank you so much. And I will be. Can you hear that beeping?
Yeah, what the fuck are you like?
My rice is done.
Oh, your rice is done? Oh, what kind of
Yeah.
rice?
White.
I didn't know if you were making fried rice in the rice cooker. Fuck off. Be nice to me.
No, it's not fried. What? It's white rice.
You can put other rice in a rice cooker.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's just white rice.
Okay, I know, but you were got incredulous when I said what kind of rice, and you're like,
well, everybody, thank you so much for listening to this
Fuck
episode
you.
of West Coast
No,
Office
hey,
Hours.
get
We'll
outta
catch
here.
you
Hey,
next.
get
Bye. We'll be right back. I'm back with a new guest whose name, Taylor Hicklin. What's your title?
I say community lead. Other people like say different titles. It's a strange.
We should figure that out.
Yeah, we
anyway,
really should. We should really lock
Taylor's
that in.
here. Taylor works here at fanbyte.com.
That's correct.
And
yeah,
oh,
I
fuck
do look
me
a lot
running.
like Rand
Jesus
right
Christ,
now.
Taylor, come on, Jesus Christ, the biggest fucking JPEG in the world.
Hey, I submitted a resume and cover letter within 15 minutes.
I should have spent more time on it. You feel me?
Do this for me, all right?
Treat the job with some fucking respect. Why are you only spending 15 minutes on this application?
Because you gave me 15 minutes notice. Okay, internship applicants, this is a teachable moment. Don't make my mistakes and leave only 15 minutes for the application.
Yeah, it's worth more than that. You know?
Honestly, this is the most primal fear I felt in years when you were like, oh, right, could you fill that out? So, applicants.
You did it, though, and I'm very happy and I'm very grateful. Taylor is here. Hello. Thank you for joining me on this. One of the weirdest streams I've done. Probably not as weird or bad as the one, as the Overwatch one that I did where nobody was in chat and then also nobody could hear me. That was one of the most mortifying days of my professional career.
Well, we all learn.
We all learn. I think that was in May. I was so sad. I was doing things that I did not want to do. But you know what? That's the past. And now we're in the present talking about the 2022 Fanbyte editorial internship.
Immediately, I have not applied for this or really been involved with the process at all, but I did have a resume and portfolio already. So.
I just want to very quickly. Well, first, if you don't mind telling us what you do at the company, and then I will take.
Nikki, you know as well
what's
as
up?
That's an answer.
Yeah, I know it's a hard. Yeah, I know.
Week.
Yeah, I know. But here's the thing: it's my stream,
okay,
so I can ask.
That's fair. All right. Well, broadly, I keep an eye on the Fanbyte community as a whole. Like, I'm in Discord a lot. I'm in Twitch a lot. I do a lot of things related to Discord mostly. If there are emotes on there, I probably uploaded them. If there's a channel structure, I probably revised it at some point. I don't know. I just keep my finger on the pulse of our people. And you
do an incredible job at it.
Thank you.
I'm going to show folks what I see when I look at an application, which I think is a really useful thing and is going to be the best way for me to show you what not to do. Because I didn't tell Taylor anything about that. The reason why I did the thing I did is because I wanted to see if you would actually read the application. Because a handful of the applications I've already received, and I've already reached out to them asking them to give me more information, but have been lacking important information that I absolutely and critically need for me to be able to determine whether or not they can work here.
All right, as we established, I got 15 minutes to do this while the stream was already in progress, so you are getting retrofitted resumes and cover letters.
That's fine. You did great. So far, you've done a great job. So I'm gonna move. Jesus Christ, why is it so long?
I want to establish my dominance.
No, the fucking JPEG.
I want to establish my dominance.
Stupid. You fool. Oh, the background music is back. Oh, shit. Sorry. Hello? Are we good? Sorry. Hello? What happened? How did that happen?
It flickered for a second on screen, and then I guess the music stuck, but it's good now. Chat is
okay, we're good now? Sorry. That was really weird. Okay, so this is what I see when I log into, we're using Greenhouse. Let me actually very quickly just go to Fanbyte Greenhouse and see if it comes up. Okay, this is what it looks like, right, when you go on, if you Google Fanbyte Greenhouse, or if you click on the link that's in the article here, which I will actually walk through in a little bit.
Yeah, I started by Googling Fanbyte internship because even I couldn't remember it was.
Great. This is the job description, which is like pretty important and is a thing that you should read, so you understand where the fuck I'm coming from when I start looking for stuff. It's got the regular ass name, first name, email, resume. Cover letter is required, but I can't change that. So, like, you can link to something else there. It doesn't need to be a cover letter. And honestly, frankly, it should not be a cover letter. Because
Oh, you got one. Congrats.
I know, but like, if you're gonna put a cover letter there, make it a good one. I would literally rather you upload a blank document than a document that you have swapped the company that you are applying for with the word fanbite. You know? Like it's a form letter and you're just swapping the company out. I don't need that. You know?
Oh,
like,
great. I'm glad I could be a teachable moment in a few minutes.
This stuff has to be there, but like it doesn't really make a difference. The school, degree, and discipline. I've opened the application up. If your form letter is really good, just like tell me that in the first line. Be like, this is a really good form letter. Like that's chill. I do read them, crucially. Like I do actually skim and scan them. But I'm not gonna find waypoint, replace fanbite.
Wow.
I mean, we're the better one, you know?
It's true. I'll say it.
This is one of the most important parts here. The link your portfolio and website. I cannot make a determination on whether or not you have the skills to do the job if I cannot see your work. That is the most important thing to me. I don't care where you go to school. I don't care if you went to school at all. The thing I actually care about is that you have the skills to be taught how to do those things better.
If I could jump in here, would it be okay after this bit of the process where I drop some links for like free engines to build a website in,
yes,
what
please.
A domain registrar is, etc.? Because it
That
can
would
be
be
really
incredible.
cheap if you have the right tools.
Yeah, and it also very crucially does not need to be like, it does not need to look like fanbyte.com, the best looking website in games, you know? Like I just need to be able to see the things you can do organized in a way that I can click on them and very quickly get through them. You know, that's the thing that's important. I don't know. I also am like, I gave a spot for folks who are creating a video or an audio application. You can attach that here. And then I don't actually know how big Greenhouse lets you attach files. So if it's too big, you can just give me a drive link here. This is for the government. And so is this one. And then you submit this application like Taylor did. And then it comes into Greenhouse where I look at it like this. Greenhouse does the thing that is the most important to me, right? Which is that it gives me, if you answered the important questions in the application right here, it is the first thing that it shows me. Because to me, that's the important thing. I really don't care about your resume, and I really don't care about your cover letter. I need, again, to be able to see that you have the skills to do the job. So I click on this, and I'm like, oh shit, it's Taylor's website that's outdated. Because Taylor told me that it was outdated.
It is.
And this is a good website, right? Like, I can see all of the things that I know who Taylor is. I can very quickly look at the things that Taylor has done. I can click on a thing that is interesting to me. There's a very good summation of Taylor's job responsibilities. And then, oh my God.
Yeah. Keep scrolling, bud. It gets better.
Is this like beginning of the pandemic?
Yeah,
right.
This is pretty early on.
Early pandemic.
I'm still proud of
funny.
it. One of my best ones.
It's really good. And like I have examples of all of the things that Taylor has done or the things that Taylor thinks are the most important things that he's done since he's been here.
And I would update that. I've done so many more just like unhinged things since then.
But like, you know what I mean? Like it is important things that you like and think are important to show me, a person who is looking at your job application. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I've gone through your website and I'm intrigued. I'm like, great, cool. Now I will look at your resume to make sure that you're not, you don't already work at Polygon or some shit. You know?
Why would I do that?
I've seen it before.
What? All right, that I won't dig into that too much, but damn, okay.
This resume is good. I don't love it, but it's good because it gets in and it gets out. I got Taylor's name.
I
I got
mean,
Taylor's email. I got where Taylor went to school. And then I got the things that Taylor does. That's it. That's what I need. Those are the things that I need.
for applicants and also for me, what makes this like not love for you?
The thing it looks boring. Like I know you are more interesting than this.
Yeah, I would use different fonts for sure.
Right? Like exactly. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I know you are more interesting than this. This does not tell me who you are at all. This looks like every other like I know you did not make this in Google Docs.
No,
but it looks like you could have made this in Google Docs.
I made this in InDesign and it was too much trouble. Don't make my mistakes, kids.
But that's what I'm talking about. Like, you only get a handful of things to show me because of the way that job applications work. So maximize all of the time, or like you have so much time. You do not have to get this to me until March 4th.
Yeah, that's so much time.
That's like, so far. We might not even be alive then.
Like I've been in the job hiring position occasionally, but I would rather you submit something that you actually really like rather than submit something you think they want to see.
Exactly. That's way more important to me than anything else. And now I'm going to read you this cover letter that you wrote. Nikki, thank you for considering me for an internship at Fanbyte. As an agricultural communications graduate with more than 5 years of marketing, copywriting, and graphic design experience, I would be a valuable asset to your team. And then you talk about a bunch of stuff that I don't care about.
Yeah, pretty much.
But here's the thing. I don't care about this because I've already clicked on this and I like you.
Oh,
so
thanks.
I click the advance button and then I will talk to you soon.
Oh my god, am I actually going to get notified about this?
You're not going to get this job.
Okay.
No, you're not going to get this job.
Oh, that's a relief, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do two at once. That's a little ambitious.
When I interned at fucking Fullscreen, my initial position was not paid. I was like working on the live team. I was talking about touring.
Oh no.
And then it was unpaid, and then I was like, I need to make money, and then I talked my way into being an HR intern. And then I was the liaison between the intern cohort and HR, which basically meant that like 3 times I had a meeting where I was like, is anybody pissed? And everybody was like, no. I was like, all right, cool. And then I told HR that everybody was chill. And then that was it. But they paid me for that, which was useful. I'm already paying you for this internship. I'm actually paying you more than I paid the people last year. There's $22.50.
Oh, nice. That is pretty good.
I wish it was more, but I can't.
Market realities being what they are.
I can't.
Yeah,
I can only jump a little bit because at some point someone higher up than me has to see the number, and if I went from like $22, which is what it was last summer, to like $30, someone would notice. But $22 to $22.50, nobody's gonna notice that, but you will in your bank account. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. Taylor, do you have any tips?
Yes, I do.
Recommendations? You were gonna drop some stuff in the chat. You don't have to do that literally right now, but you can do it.
I can. I've got them copied and pasted. I was like getting ready for this. Here's the CMS I am using to revise my portfolio site right now. It is free. It is open source. There's some free themes for it. What makes it more approachable than WordPress to me is that it's entirely in a desktop application. So you're not dealing with like 3 different tabbed menus through a browser.
Mm-hmm. Fuck the web. I never said that.
Okay, Nikki never said that.
I was deep faked. Steven got me. Steven deep faked me right there.
But yeah, I
wild.
maintain a site right now using this, and it's pretty straightforward. The other tricky part of getting your portfolio on site online is like buying your domain and like registering that. Which is honestly cheaper than you might think it is. I'm about to paste the link to the domain registrar I use. Pork Bun doesn't sponsor me, but they damn well should by now. So I'm gonna drop that in the chat now.
This is Pork Bun.
Yeah, they're the, like, what you do is you see that search bar at the top, you just type any domain you want in there.
Fuck, horse.com is unavailable.
Yeah, tragic.
Damn it.
But
Get
yeah,
horse.shop though. It's only $1,000 a year.
yeah, some of those aftermarket ones are nuts. But yeah, you can type your domain in there, buy it, and then they can even host it for you. There's static hosting plans and there are WordPress ones. So it depends on what CMS you use, but the whole domain registration process really isn't that intimidating.
Yeah. And if like all of this sounds like too much, just fucking go on Wix or Squarespace.
Actually, don't. I would like, because then you're gonna forget about that monthly charge.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I feel like this for me, this is great. This for me is too much. I would rather be like set a reminder.
Okay, here's an alternate
cancel.
plan. Find a computer science nerd.
Okay.
Or maybe
All
you've already
right.
befriended one. Ask them to do this for you. Pay them a reasonable rate, or in food. That works
Or in
for me.
food or kisses, you know?
Or kisses.
There are lots of salt, rice.
And
There's
sensual
so many
kisses,
forms.
yes.
There's so much currency on this planet.
But yeah, if you have any questions about this part of the process, you can ask me. I really don't mind.
Where can the people find you online then, Taylor?
I'm on Twitter at Taylor Hicklin. If you search Taylor Hicklin pretty much anywhere, you'll find me pretty easy. But I'll drop my Twitter in the chat for you.
It's also right there on the screen. Taylor, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on. I hope
your
this was
time.
actually helpful.
I hope so too.
I'm glad my panic sweat was good for something. So
It was
thank you.
great. It was great. I'm gonna go away for less time than before while I close some tabs and get Taylor's face off of the screen. And we'll be right back. Bye. Fuck, I didn't even do the thing I said I was gonna do, which was take Taylor's face off of the screen. I do want to remove image. Delete. You're fucking done, dude. You're fucking gone. You're fucking dead, kid. I got you. Anyway, hello. I'm back. Again, I hope this is helpful for somebody. One person at least. I don't know. I'll do another one of these once I get more applications in. Actually, let me tell you, I don't know how many people are in here, but let me tell y'all how many applications I've actually gotten, because that's good context. That's the thing that I would want to know. It's only been a couple of days. The application went up on the 17th. I have gotten 33 applications. So there's more. Welcome to the Fanbyte chat. I can't pronounce your username. Persfrian. How strict is the recent grad / non-professional specification? DM me on Twitter and explain where you're at, and I will tell you. That's it. Just do that. So, my Twitter is here. Just DM me and ask. I will tell you. I will point you in the correct direction. Basically, the reason I framed it that way and phrased it the way I did is because a handful of a lot actually of our staffers did not go to college. You don't really need to go to college to do this job. You don't really need to go to college to do any job. It's a scam. I mean, actually, I guess if you need to be a doctor, you should probably go to school. But like, we write and talk about video games. You don't need to go to school for that. So like, you don't need to go to school. Requiring you to be in school is discriminatory for no fucking reason. So I don't need that in my life, and I don't need that energy on me. The thing that's actually important to me is that I am not going to be hiring a person who has professional experience doing this kind of thing. Right? Like that, I don't want to be taking this opportunity away from someone who legitimately will get something from it or is not already a functioning human being in society who has a job and is able to like exist on their own. This is for people who are trying to figure out what they want to do with their lives and are in the beginning of the becoming a person who works until they die cycle. That's who this is for. So if you have questions about that, I will tell you. But it's one of those things where I'll know when I see it. So just email me or DM me or email me, nikki@fanbyte.com, and ask. Let's see. Let's actually go through. I got 2 resumes. I got a resume from LB, our social editor plus, and then I got a resume from Imran, our news editor. They were gracious enough to send me the resumes, and I will look. The worst morale hit I took looking for an internship was when a company went with a more experienced applicant for an internship. Okay, so that does suck. Framing it that way blows. Here's the thing. Because I get it. That's the thing that would have completely fucked me up when I was applying. But having done this now 2 times, here's, I think, what happened. There is a time consideration that I, in the past, have had to make, right? The thing I do not want to do is how do I frame this? You only have so much time, right? If you are still in school, if you're a first-year student, I know that you have 3 other years to do internships and stuff and presumably exist in a protected area that is school. I know you have more time and more opportunities. Unless your resume and your fucking like portfolio are stellar, I probably am going to categorize you differently than a junior or senior who actually has the actionable skills. I am teaching the intern, yes. We are teaching the intern, yes. But there is an assumption based on what year you're in about how many of those skills that you have. That is more useful to us because we are hiring you to do a job. We are teaching you, yes, but we need you to be able to do some stuff. I think that is what that experience gap is, and I think people should be more just like someone joined. I think it's Steven. It is Steven. What is the word I'm looking for? More upfront about like that reality. We are still hiring for a job. It is a job that we are hiring for. We pay you. We need stuff from you. So I think when people say like, oh, there's like an experience gap, I'm not out here being like, you need 3 to 5 years experience for this internship. That's not what I mean. If you can do it, you can do it. And I can see it when you can do it. But that is like, I think that's that experience gap that folks are talking about. The internship is where you get the experience. But also, if you're a first-year student, I know you can apply again next year. Also, there are not that many stellar applications, you know? It's one of those things where like everybody can apply to this job on LinkedIn. You know? Like everybody. I got an application from a person today who is an optometrist. They're older than me, they're an optometrist. They already have a job. They're not what an internship is for. So that's, I think, that's the thing. Yeah, Cobb puts it perfectly. You need to be able to hit the ground running. I can't teach you how to use Photoshop. If you haven't taken an intro to video class yet because you're a first-year college student, that I can't teach you how to use Premiere over the course of 12 weeks. And if you don't take that class until your sophomore year, reapply your rising junior summer. I'll still be here, hopefully. Fucking fingers crossed. But like, I don't know. That's I think how I would phrase and frame that. Anyway, Steven, hello, welcome to the stream. Yeah, welcome.
Just a tweet yesterday that just said, like, outlining is writing. Going for a walk and thinking about your thing is writing. Doing edits is writing. That stuff is all true. But then that person followed up their tweet with another thing that says, but also you do actually have to write at some point. Mm-hmm. If you're interested in writing, you can apply to this internship, you probably have access to Google Docs. You should write something. Write fanfic, write a short story, write 500 words, write whatever. It'll be bad because if you've never done it before, but so is everybody's first writing and early writing and stuff like that. But that's the point, is that you'll have at least put down words on paper, and then you keep doing that over and over and over again. Those are skills that you can develop individually. Like for me, the way that I started writing was working for a website that did not pay me any money, but also it was a website that was not making any money. It was like just a free volunteer website where we just did stuff. And there was no like restrictions on what I was able to write, basically. So I just did whatever I wanted to, made my own mistakes, learned over time, but at least tried stuff.
Yeah. One of my favorite questions, and I'm sure Lotus is off because the work day is over. One of the questions that I asked the folks who are applying to the social media specialist position is what the least favorite thing they had to do was.
Yeah.
Because you learn more from failure than you do from success, right? You learn the things that you should not do. You learn the things that make you frustrated and angry working. I need to know the things that you hate doing so I can better assist you in finding the things that you like doing, right? So asking, like, it's a question that I will ask if folks are in here and they make it through to the phone call stage. Like, I will ask you what the least favorite thing you did was. And if you can't actually tell me what that is, I probably won't pull you to the next stage, because I need you to be able to tell me the stuff you don't like. Or, like, at least have an idea of the stuff that you don't like to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, let's real quick. I also, Stephen, want to talk about, if you don't mind, I'm sure you've talked about this on the third birthday TFTK, but if folks have not heard it, the story of how you got to work here at fanbyte.com is one of my favorite professional stories. So if you do not mind doing a SparkNotes version in a second, that would be really cool. But here's my resume. I haven't touched this since I applied to grad school, since February 2021. That was when I touched this resume last. I don't think this is very good. If there are changes that I would like to make from the jump, I don't think this is very legible, like actually legible. I think the color choice is pretty bad. I think it kind of looks manila envelope-y. It just like feels kind of generic.
I don't know. It looks better.
There's a lot of fucking empty space down here. Like, what's this about? What's happening down here? This is this is the resume that I used for grad school. And we all know how that went. I mean, I got in, but whatever. The reason that I formatted my resume like this is because I have looked at so many resumes that I did not like, and I was like, okay, what are the things that I actually think are important? I need to know about who the person is, and I need to know what they did. Bullet points are super helpful, I guess, if you're trying to blast a bunch of information at the person who's looking at your application. But I think a better way to present that information is to actually just write in a couple of sentences the thing that you did while you were there. The cool thing about doing it this way is that I get to listen to I get to read the way you write and the way that you talk about the things that you've done and the way that you talk about yourself. That's like a hack that I otherwise wouldn't get until I speak to you in person. But if you format your resume such that you're writing sentences and I can listen to the way that you write, that is way more helpful to me than generic bullet points that are like, I wrote some stuff. It's like, okay, cool, great, awesome. I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very simple. It just goes through the things that I've done. And my portfolio, which is just my website, looks like this. It's also very simple. It's what I do. It's the things I did, and the last thing I did professionally. Quick little fucking blurb about who I am, and then it literally is the same words that are on my resume, just here. And then because it's my website, I can send you out to go look at stuff that I've written or videos that I am in, or I like, podcasts that I'm on, that kind of stuff. It needs to be quick and obvious where stuff goes and what kind of stuff you can do. That's the most important thing to me.
You should change some of this art on here too.
Yeah, it's old. I'm not trying to go anywhere though. You feel me?
Yeah.
Unless John tomorrow is you got to start looking for another job.
We got to get you out of here.
Yeah, we got to get you out. We like you too much. You have to leave.
Yeah, exactly. We got to put you into witness protection program or something.
Protection, like finally. Yeah. Steven, do you want to very quickly give a SparkNotes version of how you ended up here at fanbyte.com?
If people watching this haven't heard this story, I'd be shocked because I feel like I've told this a million times, but also I mostly tell it to you, Nikki,
Yes.
and not necessarily on stream. So, who knows? But the fanbyte.com is a website. Before that was a website, there was a website called Ready Set. Before that, there was a website called Zam.com. And I worked for all of those websites at various points. Danielle ran Zam. I think she was in charge of Zam at the time before she went on to go work for Waypoint. And then hilariously, she came back here, which is very funny to me still to this day. I freelanced for them for a long time because I was also freelancing for about 10 years just generally. My main job was really at Ars Technica, but in terms of being able to just spread my wings and do stupid shit like writing about Psycho Pass visual novel, I got to do that at Zam and Ready Set, run by a person named Chris Lorschild, who is no longer working in the games press. Smartly,
They got out.
Like so many of us do, they got out. And well, the thing that initially helped them on their way out was that the website readyset.com, I was hired to work there because I like a manga series called Golden Kamui a whole lot, and so does Chris. And we got to talking about Golden Kamui and a bunch of other stuff, and we became good friends, started talking about different things. Chris was running that site by themselves, too much work for one person to do, so they decided to open up to another person. A copy editor basically was what I was originally hired to do, which was a very funny process for a lot of reasons, some of which I've already touched on, but one of the reasons being I got an email that was basically like, hey, we'd like to hire you. And then I was like, awesome. And then 2 days later I got an email that was like, actually we don't want to hire you unless you can move to Los Angeles. And I was like, all right, I'll move to Los Angeles. And then 2 days later, they were like, actually, we're only going to hire someone who already lives in Los Angeles so they don't have to relocate. So we're not giving you the job. It's like, okay. 2 days later, I got another message saying, actually, we're going to hire remotely so you can come work for us. And you don't have to move to Los Angeles at all.
It's a good start.
It was a good start, but I had also been freelancing for 10 years up to that point. Up to that point, I had gotten 2 interviews for different jobs out of the many, many hundreds of applications that I had put into various websites like Polygon, Kotaku, all kind of Giant Bomb, Joystick, which no longer exists. It's
Who?
Engadget now, I guess, technically.
Damn, Engadget.
I Googled myself last night, Nikki.
Yeah.
Like mostly it's just my bylines at various websites like PC Gamer and whatnot, places I've worked. And then I saw that I had a byline on Engadget, and I was like, the fucking fuck.
Whoa.
I've never written for Engadget in my life. And then I saw that it was my Joystick articles that have been like moved over to Engadget.
Damn, you got AOL money.
I got AOL money
at
now. Is the
point.
thing. They do pay me royalties.
Incredible.
They pay me royalties on my GoldenEye Rogue Agent HD review.
Thank you for your service.
You're welcome. You know, if not me, then who?
Then who?
So I jumped through all those. So I was like, okay, I really like working with Chris. Chris is great. One of my favorite people in the world. I have no other prospects because nobody else is hiring me. So I went to come work at Ready Set. Chris finally got me through the door. Mm-hmm. First day was me kind of learning the ropes because I'd never been an editor before. I'd always done a lot of writing. My biggest specialties were like reviews and guides. I did a lot of reviews for Ars Technica, a lot of guides for PC Gamer and such. Second day was you're fired. More or less. It was pretty close.
Yeah.
The morning of my second day, Chris decided to, this was pre-pandemic, so we used to, but if you were born after
2018, right?
Early 2018, I think. Early 2018 or late 2017, one of those. Francis, I've never told her this story. This is very funny. So yeah, the second day, this is pre-pandemic, so if you were born after the pandemic, know that we used to go to offices for our jobs. And
born after the pandemic, you fool.
And Chris was sick, which that day with a normal illnesses, we used to have those too, and they decided to stay home to work from home. But then the office called them in to come into the office at it was 10:30, 11 o'clock my time, Central Time. At the time, and already my brain was like, they don't usually call everybody into the office, especially on sick days, for a good reason. Remember, this is my second morning, my second morning working on this job. The first day was basically a tutorial. I got past the tutorial of having job, my first full-time job ever, because I'd always been freelance and working part-time at grocery stores and shit. And then a half an hour later, Chris informs me that they have been laid off, along with several other people at the company, and that the website that I've been hired to work for, not 48 hours ago, 36 hours earlier, is being shut down. Mm-hmm. The reason that I have a job today is because they forgot that they hired the person who initiated the layoffs for various reasons. Forgot that I had been hired and didn't include me in the list of the layoffs. You know, one would think that if you were about to do a round of layoffs, you would check to make sure that nobody was about to be hired 36 hours before you did that.
And also kind of check to see who the fuck worked there at the time.
What is the actual masthead? What's the head count at this website? Stuff like that. Not that important.
Some basic management stuff.
To be clear, this is a person who is no longer working for this website at all.
They're dead.
I don't think they're actually dead. Last time I checked, they're not actually dead.
They died a career death.
Right. Yeah, they died a moral death in a lot of ways. And now a lot of their shoes are filled by John Warren, who was at the time also dead. Rest in peace. But we love him. We miss him very deeply. At the time, Chris basically literally told me, just stick with John and they'll see you through basically anything. Like, you can trust John. And so I did. And John was like, oh, fuck.
Because John had only been here for a couple of months before.
John was new, too.
Yeah, I think he had only been here. I wish he was alive to tell us about this. But I think he'd only been here for 2 months.
Yeah, he was fairly new and put in a horrible position with these layoffs.
Yes.
By, again, a person I won't speak for everybody. I don't particularly like. Didn't particularly like.
I worked there. We overlapped with this dude for a year. I came into the office for a year.
Yeah.
I spoke to him 2 times, and I do not think he knew my name.
That sounds about right.
Like, I just
that
don't
sounds
think
about right.
He knew my name.
The kind of the only one-on-one interaction I ever had with him was after we had decided to. So John was like, "Oh fuck, what if we start a new website again?" I guess the third one.
The third one.
And if you don't count alakazam.com, which
the fourth one.
So the fourth one. What if we just try it again and just keep trying it over and over and over again and play this corporate shell game because it worked out so good before. And so we started like launching this website. We had very different ideas. Me and John, it was at the time, Fanbyte was essentially John Dillon, our guides editor, a guy named Ryan, who was a video. Well, he still is, I believe, with the company.
Mm-hmm.
He just works at a different part of the company now, and me. And we were like, well, and John was like, well, you want to start a new website? And I said, like, well, I've got a full-time job. Bare minimum, I will take this money while I can until something else happens.
At the very least, I will take the checks, John.
I gotta say, like, I've never really talked about this part of this before, which was like, at the time, I did not have a ton of faith in what was going on because nobody did.
Weird. You know what, Steven? That's really weird.
Yeah.
So you're saying you didn't really trust or have faith in the company that 2 days after hiring you, not even 36 hours after hiring you, fired most of the company. You didn't trust them.
I didn't trust that, and I didn't trust it.
I have
like,
to just take some notes.
Yep, you can put this down for the intern.
Not loyal.
This is how career paths go. So I didn't have like a huge lot of faith for like several months after that, especially because this guy was also like my basically my only private interaction with this guy was like this guy basically because the next hire we got, I believe, was Merritt. Merritt was the next person who was brought into the site.
Merritt was in March. Okay, so it would have been Merritt was a little late February, early March, because I started in April of 2019.
So a little under half a year later, after the launch of the website, I would have been there for maybe a year at that point total, because there was a lot of building Fanbyte in the background.
Yeah, Fanbyte launched on Halloween 2018.
And it was a lot of the build up to that stuff was this dude who had done these layoffs basically telling us that, like, hey, like video game wikis? And I was like, yeah, I use those all the time. It's like, what if we just made another one of those?
Mm-hmm.
And what if it was also all user generated content? And what if it was also BuzzFeed? And it was just like
if we spent what if 2 years after everybody found out that Facebook video was a fucking scam?
Right.
What if we spent literally $1 million?
Yeah.
On Facebook video.
Right. Like, if I'm remembering that story correctly, I believe it was John who told us that was basically John said to him, all that traffic is fake. And then he looked John dead in the eye and said, we're going to spend $1 million on Facebook traffic or something like that. And it's like,
all right, it's not my money, I guess.
But when we got hired on, we came over to LA for a little bit.
John's here.
Hi, John.
John, have we said anything wrong yet?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't me that told him.
It wasn't you.
That was Laura Miche.
That was Laura Miche.
Who handed him a bunch of like research and also like the article that had been written that was 5,000 words about how they faked all that shit. And he basically said, all right, cool. And then we did it anyway.
Yeah, we did it.
And it worked. And now we're really fucking rich. Mark Zuckerberg let us into his house yesterday.
Facebook loves us. Their kind of whole algorithm is like really happy with Fanbyte.
I haven't
Yeah.
actually heard most of this conversation. I've been playing a weird video game that we'll talk about next week.
That's also
Um,
my fault.
yeah, yeah, that is your fault.
Wait, really?
That is definitely your fault. Yes.
Wait, do I have to look in upcoming games?
No.
No.
All right, keep talking.
Yeah.
This is a
no,
What
99
game is
potions
it?
thing.
Can
This
you
is
say it?
this is 99 potions, Joanne.
I think we can say it. I don't
Can we?
What
Can
game
we?
is it?
Do we have embargo rules?
I've got I'll pull up the
For us, the embargo rules for Spectre.
I ain't saying shit that could incriminate me in a court of law. Shut the fuck up. Tuesday. They do they? Oh wait. It's through terminals, so I have to go back to the
Oh, that's
terminals
fine.
website to find the embargo. Anyway, talk amongst yourselves. I'll figure this out.
I
What you
haven't-
been up to, John? How was the gym?
The gym was good. It was not very busy because I went at like 1 p.m.
It's the best time to go.
Yeah, that was great. I usually don't have time to go during the day.
What
But
was
me-
your
Yeah,
what'd you do today?
I did a brisk 32.
A bris?
Yeah, I
At the gym?
I performed a brisk at the gym.
Jesus Christ,
They
Sean.
did tell me to leave. But yeah. No, I love the idea of like, what if you walked into a room at the gym, you think it's the rock climbing wall, and then someone just like hands you a foreskin. Yeah.
The
God.
bris room.
No, so I did a brisk 32-minute bike ride.
Mhm.
And that
Where'd
was
you
it.
go?
That's I did there was a video on the bike thing, and it was through the mountains in Aspen. So I
Whoa.
was
Oh,
like,
wow.
ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the saunas are nice. It's a nice gym up here.
You got an Equinox?
No, it's a Fitness One. There are 3 of them in the United States. One is here, one is in Tennessee, and the other is in some city in Arkansas I've never heard of. And it's like,
Fitness One?
yep. Yeah.
Like round one?
I don't know, but it's just Fitness One, and
Become one.
they have a nice pool. They have a nice sauna system. They have
Oh, this place looks cool.
a
This place looks like
sauna.
a hospital.
yeah. Well, yeah. It doesn't really inside. Maybe the one in I don't know which one you're looking at, but the one
There's one in New Mexico.
New Mexico. It's New Mexico, Tennessee, and Arkansas. Yeah.
Is this
This looks like someone went into an Equinox and was like, we have to take this somewhere where they don't have Equinoxes.
Yeah. Yes. That's exactly what they did. And they you know what? They picked
They did it.
a college town with a massive athletics department that regular people can go to
Yeah.
the gym at Arkansas if they wanted to. But it's fine. But yeah, I went to the gym. I just did 32-minute bike ride and got real sweaty. I don't actually I feel very self-conscious about getting sweaty in public. So I'm like,
Yeah.
but
But that means it's working.
it means it's working. That's the frustrating thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone else
yeah.
is sweaty, so like it's chill.
You know,
Yeah.
there's a
it's
manga
chill.
about
Also,
sweat?
the other cool thing about the gym is that nobody gives a shit about you. I think that's the thing that like
Yeah.
everybody is like everyone like that was my thing at the gym too, especially because I started like climbing recently.
Yeah.
And I was like, everyone's gonna see me on the B1s, and
Yeah.
they're gonna be like, look at this fucking idiot, can't even climb a rock. And it's like, no, nobody cares.
I've kind of gotten over that, but like I do notice some people, like the one guy that goes "Ah!" when he lifts stuff.
Right.
I get mad at that.
Yeah, but that
guy.
guy's doing
That
it
guy
for
sucks.
attention.
That guy's doing
Yeah.
it on
That's
purpose.
intentional.
There's actually a posted rule that says you can't do that, so it's just
Yeah.
a matter of time before he gets in trouble, I guess.
Yeah, they'll drop a weight on him.
Yeah.
Get him out of there.
But yeah, it's I don't know, it's nice. It's only 90 seconds away from my house in a car.
That's pretty
which is
good.
Great. So
How far is it from Mars?
from
Dumb.
Mars, I don't know.
Terrible. They have aerial yoga there, John.
Aerial yoga? I don't think I've seen an aerial yoga space.
That's what it says on the website. I'm
How does
looking at it
how
right
does she
now.
do yoga when she doesn't have human
Oh
legs? She's
my
got fish.
Stupid. Stupid.
Come on.
She's got fish
this
parts.
was an educational stream.
Downward. Hey, Steven, downward facing dogfish.
There
Oh
we go.
my
There we
god.
go,
Thank
John.
you so much for watching the stream. No one apply to work here. It sucks.
No, you're only an hour and 23 minutes in, Nikki. 24 minutes. I mean, you could-
Did you figure out if we can talk about the game or not?
It's very unclear in this thing. It says the review embargo is February 1st.
Just
but
say it.
It's the
Just fucking say it. Just say it. What are they gonna do?
I
The
mean,
game's gonna come out. What a game is it?
I feel like the idea of playing it is not embargoed, but
Yeah,
I
no.
can't
Wait,
say
yeah,
anything
it's in
else
early
about
access.
It.
We can say we're
Oh,
playing.
okay. We're playing the Waylanders.
Jesus
Which-
That
Christ.
game is. Yeah, I own that game
Yeah.
Okay.
You probably bought that on a Humble Bundle.
or something.
Now I did, Steven, until this morning when you sent me the code for it.
Yeah.
I did think I did think we were talking about Skylanders. So I was like, sure, I guess we could do Skylanders on 99 Potions.
So you ran out to your local GameStop and picked up fucking Drillbot and Drogon,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Ariel. There's probably a Skylander named Ariel. Sorry, Crash, Spyro, the most important Skylanders.
The most important one, Skyrim. Do you think they're gonna make a Skyrim guy Skylander now? Because they can.
Skyrimlanders.
Wow.
Skyrimlanders.
Skyrimlanders?
Yeah. Skyrimmers. Wait.
Nope. Hold on. All right. So Steven, you wikis is where you were at in the story.
Are we
Oh,
telling
yeah.
the whole story of Fanbite?
Well, we're almost done.
Okay,
I
here
figured
we
I would basically
because
stop
the
at this
website
part.
got fixed when I was hired in April.
right.
Sure,
yeah.
sure.
We hired Nikki and Nikki fixed it.
I fixed it. Yeah.
No, basically what happened.
Wait, no, hold on. Has the website gotten worse since I started?
No.
Oh.
Exactly.
Well-
Make you think.
Are we talking holistically or are we talking about like individual elements?
Are the numbers bigger or are morals dead?
Listen, the moral discussion today was not triggered by you. That was somebody else. That was Imran.
Dumb.
Hi, Ka.
Kaz here.
Hi everybody.
Where are
Hi. Yeah, where are you? In a
I'm-
cave?
I'm on a pair of AirPods. Does it sound super terrible?
Nah,
I mean,
chill.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't,
We've
it
had
sounds,
worse.
It sounds fine enough.
I'll just crank you.
Okay, crank
Uh,
that soldier boy, as they say.
Crank
You.
that thing, Predator. Oh, I went a different way. Yeah, the last thing I was just going to say was like the real only individual interaction I had with that person who's no longer with the company is, I believe it was at E3. Me and Merritt got brought over to LA to go attend the last E3 that ever happened, weirdly enough.
Wow.
It never will happen. And we stayed in the same Airbnb and kind of like everybody got to know each other and so on.
Mhm.
And then that day that we went there to the office for the first time, oh God, I don't remember LA.
Wilshire.
Wilshire.
It's the old
Wilshire
Wilshire
office.
office, yeah.
Wilshire office. He invited both Merritt and I out to separate lunches on the same day
Yeah.
to basically isolate us and turn us against John.
Yeah.
To basically,
And it
Oh my
worked.
God.
and it worked
Mary
wonderfully
and Steve have been working against me
ever since.
for years now, yeah.
It was basically he took us aside and like bought us drinks and stuff like that during the day at the same restaurant, and then like he took Merritt out, and I didn't believe he took me out, I think was the order, and he was basically like just talking to us in private in the back of this restaurant in this like back porch area. And no, Chipmunk, he did not eat 2 lunches. I believe he didn't eat anything. He just like encouraged us to get food and eat in front of him, and I turned him down. I said no thank you, and I got like a drink. I got like a Bloody Mary or something.
It's very funny to think about him eating 2 meals, though, I have to say.
No,
That was a question. It was like, did you see that? It's like, how many pieces of bread did they consume between this conspiracy? That they
Wait,
put
did
together?
he take you to the same place?
yeah, he took us.
Did
both
you
to the
sit
same
at this?
place.
Did you? I assume they couldn't have switched shifts.
No, probably not. I
Oh no,
suppose.
probably not. Yeah,
It was within like an hour and a half of each other, I believe.
Incredible.
Well, he had the endless pasta pass, so he was good. He didn't have to worry about it. Yeah, but their uncle also points out the idea of him running between two tables like a fucking smart guy, Marcus Mowry, trying to date two girls at the same time.
That's incredible.
But yeah, and he basically like was talking to Barrett, and I basically saying like, yeah, we're really like, I'm really excited about doing wikis and just UGC and making readers and fans build the website for us and build all our content and just kind of like doing all these weird, not just kind of scummy and like the like business practices I didn't feel good about and were not stuff that I was interested in doing from a creative standpoint, but also like things that had already been done, things that like
were illegal.
and were illegal in some cases,
I mean,
maybe.
yeah, I mean, I think really what, yeah, I mean, he wanted us to basically stop paying people and
Automate it through other
a
people.
very passionate small group of people basically build the websites for us for free.
And like, where does that come from, guy? Like, what audience are you going to be pulling from to do all this work for you that isn't already doing that work for fandom or whatever? You know, I don't know.
I mean, the endless
Yeah.
pasta crowd. That's where that happens.
The which crowd?
It's the endless pasta crowd. That's
Yeah, the endless pasta
Oh.
crowd. Can I just say, for the small handful of people that have met both me and that person and my ex boss, can you imagine trying to I'm not really patting myself on the back here. I'm just saying the comparison of like which one of us has like, I don't know, the charisma and the institutional knowledge to have a conversation about this stuff. Like, I'm just trying to think about like the fucking arrogance of him pulling y'all aside and being like, I can take one lunch and turn you both against him. Like, it's very funny to me. It's very
courageous.
Funny. Yeah, it is very courageous.
But also at the time we didn't know that we wouldn't be working with this guy forever, so I was just like nodding along, and it was the fucking Mel Brooks thing of this. We made, John, you and I talked about this because this is what we did for the website for like me, you, Merritt, Dylan for a long time, was just there was that story about Mel Brooks recently where his solution to like getting producers and stuff off of his back, not producers, studios off his back. His studios would come in and like try to change the scripts and say like, I don't like Gene Wilder, get him out of here. And then Mel Brooks would be like, he's gone. I got rid of him. And then 5 minutes later, he would just like ignore everything that guy said because the studio guy would just completely forget that he'd ever made that claim in the first place and just ignore all of what he did. And that's what we did for like a year and a half, was just like nod and say, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. And then just not do any of it.
Yeah. Yep. That was that's basically it for a long time.
Hey, Khalif?
Yeah.
I literally have no idea how you got here. And by here, I mean in this business. I know you worked at Intel and now you work at Riot, but what happened before that?
Yeah, Khalif, who gave you an invite to this Discord call?
Yeah, who got you here?
Oh. No, wow.
Well, okay, so let's go back a step. So my mama, her name was Erica.
Okay.
My dad looked like a pimp and had really big feet.
Okay.
And a really bad suit. And that's all I remember from that layer of that story. Who knows? He went out for cigarettes, never came back, and now I'm here.
Wow, and nothing happened in between. That's incredible.
I mean, look. Everybody else who like myself, who was born after the pandemic, are part of that grouping of people who are part of that conversation. I mean, I wrote for a blog first. It was so funny because when you were, having the part of the conversation about like, what are you looking for interns and stuff like that, and like having people write, their own stuff that Steven, talked about. That was the way I got in, was like I wrote for like 3 or 4 years. I had my own blog, which nobody read. And then PlayStation blog picked up some stories from it because I was doing stuff around a game called Sound Shapes for a bit.
Ooh, that's a good game.
Yeah, I love that game. And then that was when I was like, oh, I don't want to do my job anymore. And how do I try to figure out a way to do the thing that I always wanted to do? So it was like blogging. Then that moved into going to a bunch of conferences, rubbing elbows, kissing babies at the conferences, which is weird because babies at conferences is just weird.
Yeah, why are you bringing the baby? They don't know what GDC is.
I mean, JW Bar is full of babies all the time. And then it wound up being a thing where, you know, the podcast kind of started to move, and then that was what actually got me into my first gaming job. Like, that's how I got my Intel job. Was little known fact that my actual first job in the gaming industry came through dear friend Robin Hunicke, maker of Journey.
Ooh.
She suggested me to a friend that she knew over at Intel. And that's how I got my first industry job, was like going up to Robin Hunicke 6 years prior to that, very meekly, and being like, "Hi, my name is Khalif, and I love your games. Can you sign my sign my scarf?" and then we got cool over the years, and then she was like, "Hey, there's this job, and I know you've been looking. You know, you might be perfect for it." And that was how I got that job, and then that job led to. I was working in IT though for most of my life. I was an IT dude, rocking the help desk, doing that kind of work, and then moved over to Amazon, and then Intel, and then Riot. So yeah, it's super weird. It's the most weird version of that kind of story. That
Yeah,
you ever want
but
to hear.
I don't think anybody's story is linear.
No,
except for
close.
Ren.
Yeah,
like that's not a comedy joke.
No, it's
like
not.
I don't think that there's going to be, until like Ren's cohort of folks, I don't think there's going to have been a straight line for anybody until the folks who are Ren's age, only because the way that you had to get in was like what Ka and Steven and John have said, which is that you have to know people in a way that like kind of obscures who you are first.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's one of those weird things, and this also just makes me sound fucking old as shit. But it is one of those.
Khalif.
Yeah, it was funny. I was having a conversation. I was like, "Yeah, you know, I've been working for a long time." They were like, "You know, really? How long? When did you start working?" I was like, "I had my first job when I was 16."
Yeah.
And I'm 40. I'm 43 now. So I've been working for longer than people have been alive at Fanbyte.
Yeah.
Yep, that's true.
Longer than
You
me.
know what I mean?
Wow.
Like wild shit when I think about the number in that way. But it is really true. It's like, even at the time when I was starting to even think about what this looked like, there just weren't avenues in the same ways that there are now, which gives me a little bit less patience with some folks, because it's like, we didn't have Twitch when I was growing up. There was no way to put out work in a way where you had potential millions of people who were able to see it. Like, God knows what the hell this space would look like if I had TikTok and, you know, everything else back in the day when I had time and shit.
How I got some of my earliest work in this business for actual paying money at the aforementioned Joystick, rest in peace. It was a great website. That's where a lot of the Polygon and folks come from, like Griffin McElroy, Justin McElroy. They both got their starts there. But you may have never heard of them.
You mean the podcasters?
The podcasters. But back before there was Mabim Bam, there was the Joystick podcast, which was one of the first podcasts I listened to. Yep. And part of how I got the first paying work I got in this business, outside of working for my college newspaper, which I got around like a year later, was doing reviews of the Metal Gear Solid HD collection on PS3 and the GoldenEye reboot remake in HD for Joystick. And part of the way that I got that job there, like, this is pre most stuff, so we were in a Facebook appreciation group, like a Facebook group, and I used to draw fan art of their podcast and send it in to be published on the website, and then waylaid that into having conversations, and like eventually got, I think it was Griffin was the first one to ever take one of my pitches for one of those games, and I reviewed that game.
Yeah, I think my first writing gig was like PS3 Attitude. That was my first writing gig.
Oh, I love that website.
I used to write. That was my first writing gig, was writing stuff for that. Like,
John made a bunch of games that everybody loved, and then that success brought him here.
Yeah, my tremendous successes brought me here. Yeah, it wasn't losing my savings as my own game studio, and then And then
The Sun at Night
basically-
available on Steam for $4.99.
Yeah, for $4.99. If it you know what? If it fucking works, I will give you $5 because there's no way
Whoa.
that game works.
John, can you tell me how many user reviews you think there are on it right now?
28.
What was the
it's-
embargo date for that game?
We'll have to ask Danielle who reviewed it.
I wish that embargo had never fucking lifted, but Danielle Danielle gave it a good review on the front page of Polygon. It was it was a 7 on Polygon, and Destiny Vanilla was 6.5.
Yeah, better than Destiny.
That's my claim to fame.
Currently, John, on the Steam page, you might know this. I literally don't know. The top piece of text on the Steam page for this game is a quote from Danielle.
Whoa.
Well, yeah, because we were fucking. This is the only good review we got, so we have to milk it.
Right? Yeah.
We have to milk it.
And it worked.
Yeah, and then I bummed around to consulting gigs. I mean, I worked for Andrew Hussey at Homestuck for 2 years. I worked. I worked for a.
That's so wild.
I worked for an incredibly doomed Kickstarter project. I worked another couple of little jobs before Laura Miche was like, "You should quit doing all of that and come." I don't know why she did that, but it was like I must have had the desperation on I must have been wearing it like a fucking
smelling
cologne.
it through the internet.
Yeah, like I was like, I have to get out of this consulting thing. It's so bad.
But you were rich then, right? You were just like making rolling in the money.
Yeah, it was from my ivory tower that I got the phone call from Laura.
But were you working odd jobs before that though? Like, were you doing air quotes odd jobs? Our jobs aren't odd jobs; it's jobs that people just do. But did you have a space in that in early, John?
Yeah, when I graduated from college, I worked in a fulfillment center in Austin that was basically doing. Ganja Hor, no, it's not anti-communist. Sorry,
you're a communist dog.
It's super not anti-communist.
It's about a pro-communist dog.
Yeah. But
actually, the dog was actually too Russian.
It was
kind
too
of
Russian, yeah.
Too Russian.
I to the chat, legitimately, I don't recommend you play that game. But if y'all do it, that's fine.
I already bought 30 copies.
Wow. Well, then it's more than that game has ever.
Can I expense those or no?
No, you can't.
Wait, John, I've had an idea. I've had an idea on how to get money out of us and into your pocket, and I only need 30% of it.
Okay.
I'm gonna buy 150,000 copies of The Sun at Night, and then I'll expense all of them. That money will go to you and Jordan, and then I get 30% off the top.
Wow, that's such a good fucking idea.
Oh shit! Wasn't that the plot of the Italian Job?
That's the remake. Yeah.
Brand, I'm 5'1", so no, I would not be a longshoreman.
No, a short shoreman.
Yeah,
she corrected herself.
So I worked for a fulfillment center in Austin that was basically focused on internet brands at the time. So I had that job in 2008 and had it until I had it for about a year and a half.
Did something happen in 2008 that kind of made it harder to work?
Yeah, but I didn't really have that issue personally.
Oh, wow. John Warren, the recession didn't affect me.
It didn't because it just didn't. Well, you know why?
You have to have a job already.
You know why? Because I knew people at this fulfillment center. But I took customer service calls. Get this fucking lineup.
Oh my god.
I took customer service calls for The Onion,
Wow.
Penny Arcade,
Whoa.
Rooster Teeth, Control Alt Delete. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, what does loss mean?
Yeah.
Beep, 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 beep. Hey, what does loss mean?
What
John,
does loss mean? What is
Wait,
loss?
is this loss? Can you tell me?
My least, because one of the vendors, and I will not say which one, mostly because I actually don't remember, to be honest, so I don't want to
just say
trouble.
it was Rooster Teeth.
I don't think it was, actually. I think they were actually pretty cool about this, but someone wasn't. That if there were shirts that were 2x or larger, they charge the customer more.
Oh yeah, this was not Rooster Teeth.
Oh, this was not Rooster Teeth. This was a different one. And like I would get calls in the holidays that were just like from people who were like, yeah, I would love this 4X shirt, but I'm trying to understand why it costs more. And I had to just say like, I guess because it takes more material. But I'm like,
Oof.
I had no fucking way to say no. It was the worst part of that job by like a million miles. It's just like, just fucking price your shirts at the same fucking price, you monster. Anyway, I don't remember which company that was, but it wasn't Rooster Teeth. But yeah, the other thing was I took a lot of calls from moms that didn't know what red versus blue was.
It's politics.
And so I had to like shut up. I had to like I had to explain it, but I don't know that much about it. And then
is red John?
Yeah.
What is red versus blue?
It's like a Halo machinima kind of thing.
One more time?
You want to pronounce that again for me, bud?
You want to take that one more? I think the mic ate it. You want to take that one for me one more time?
Wait, how do y'all say machinima?
Say.
Well, that's what you said that time.
You said that time. You said machinima.
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 Hello, Michelle Gondry. This is my machinima.
Bonjour,
what
machinima.
Two lunches would say. Curl a mustache.
The worst part were the kids that would call and then want to just talk to me about red versus blue.
Yeah, no, that owns. I love that.
Are you Master Chief, sir? They were all like super sweet and enthusiastic, but I didn't know a fucking thing about.
Let me talk to Caboose about gold.
Yeah, no. That's what they would fucking say, Nikki. That was like an activation phrase. Like there were things. I would just get phone calls and people would say shit like that, and I'd be like, what can I fucking help you with? Like, I have no idea what
this is a cool kid.
Oh man.
Damn.
Anyway.
But yeah, nope. God. I think it is. I legitimately do, and I don't know. I don't mean to like put Ren and Isaiah, who are the people who come to my mind first. Isaiah Colbert also at Kotaku.com. Like I don't mean to say that they are the poster children for the way that like jobs will work in the future, but there's way more of a straight line I think than existed previously, which I think is the normal and correct thing that should happen.
Yeah, Nikki, I do feel this is something I don't voice a lot because I worry that I'm going to jinx something if I say it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Ren's here. Ren's fine. She'll be fine. I won't put anything on her. But like, I worry that like we are too nice and too good to a lot of the people who come through our doors as freelancers and interns, and that we don't adequately prepare them. A bunch of people in the chat were pointing out, boy, this industry is a grift. And yes, it really is a lot of times. And a lot of times it's just like, it's always a confluence of luck and skill. Like you have to be skilled to get lucky, but also you have to get
drive,
lucky.
It's about power. We stay hungry, we devour.
We devour. Dwayne The Rock Johnson is there. And yeah, I mean, he's about to be in a new video game movie, so he is here. But like, I don't always feel like I can adequately describe to people how fucking stupid this business is.
No, absolutely. Yeah, like
stupid.
I when I say it's a straight line, I mean, or more of a straight line, I mean that like there are more people in the industry now than when I was a person who just had a Twitter account when I was too young, who had basically no idea how any of this shit worked.
Right.
I think there is more visibility on how this stuff works than there was even 2 years ago, and especially 5 to 7 to 10 years ago. I think that is the stuff that is going to be more helpful to people who are coming up and the folks who would be potentially applying to this internship. But yeah, no, I definitely don't mean to say that there's no bullshit. Again, I got one of the most buck wild professional emails I've ever received in my life.
Yep.
You're welcome.
Like, thank you, Khalif. And because of the way that this business works, we cannot talk to you about it until next week.
Yeah.
We can't tell you why Twitter was weird this morning until next week, lest we like
Lest we burn some bridges.
Lest we burn some bridges.
Right.
None of the shit that happened this morning is important enough to necessitate the burning of a bridge.
No.
It legitimately isn't.
But it's funny.
we can't. It's funny, but we can't tell you why it's funny until next week.
Because
Like,
this business is weird about secrecy and keeping everything behind a
you're
weird
right,
black
Chipmunk.
curtain.
We all found out that James Harden's going to the 76ers for sure next year, but we can't tell you about it until next week.
I mean, that's reasonable. That's reasonable. Yeah, the business is weird. It's an extremely weird business. I will say it's one of the thing that I would tell people, at least who are thinking about getting, dipping your toes into this space in a real way.
Don't get forklift certified.
Yo.
It'll be way more useful than any of us are.
That's when I walk off like fucking the Incredible Hulk the 70s series. It's like get a fucking trade. Work a trade.
Learn how to fix a car. You'll never die.
You'll always have a job. Go fix a sink. You'll always have employment. Again, it's like in this space now, it is more important and weirdly so to be able to understand how to network, make a personal brand, connect with people on a human level. People always flex about hard skills versus soft skills. The gaming industry is very much a soft skills place.
Yeah,
I
can't pick up anything.
Hmm?
I said I literally can't physically pick anything up.
Yep,
it's all soft skills.
It's all about atrophied muscles. This business. But it is like one of the things. Like I am learning that in real time as a person who's gotten into the space older and later than a lot of people have.
Right.
It is a place that if your soft skills are good and you know how to network and you know how to pay attention to the space in a way where you want to build relationships, it's harder to do now because of COVID. I think that's an actual real thing. And I think most people who have done that work on the ground for years and like actually went to conferences and said hello to people and like nail the deal in the room as opposed to trying to figure out a way to pitch it. It's extremely hard to figure out what that is, but there are more opportunities to do it now than you ever had before if you're really thinking about it. You can build your whole total personal side of all of that work on your own, and then you're basically selling it to somebody else for them to pull you in for a job. Yeah. So it's good to kind of have that in your pocket early. So
the other
you said makes sense.
I think the last thing before we get out of here is like everyone who works in this business is a person, and like 95% of them deserve to be treated with respect. So like treat them the way that you would treat other people in your life, and don't be weird about the way that you interact with them or the way that you we're all regular people.
Yeah.
Who like we turn our computers off and at some point we like have our own personal lives.
Yeah.
Right. So like I think if you remember that, and also like don't make this industry your entire life because it's not worth that. Like no job is worth that.
Nope.
If you treat it that way, that stuff comes through and is really obvious and is like, to me, and I don't want to speak for anybody else, but to me that's off-putting. Like I need to be able to know that like if I tell you that you don't get this job, that you are going to pass away afterwards. Like I don't need that pressure on me. So like be normal and chill. That's so valuable.
It's literally anytime we hire somebody new, like there's a good example of a recent one is Lotus is just like one of the first and like biggest things that we say when it feels like we're about to hire somebody is just like, oh my god, that person's just got like good vibes. That person is like so chill and normal of a human being. Like this whole business is not their entire life in that weird way. They're not like approaching it in this, Ka is very right about like networking, but like networking doesn't mean transactional either. It doesn't mean that every interaction that you have with another person should be this exchange of like goods, because people get that vibe and it feels weird. Just be a good friend and a good person, and people pick up on that stuff.
Yep. Yeah. The nicest thing you can do is tell someone, "Hey, how are you doing?" or "Hey, I appreciate your work."
Yeah.
That will get you into some more rooms that you tried to get into it's such an easy thing to do, is like pay attention to people as people, and you're right.
Yeah. I think that's it. Thanks, gang, for hopping on. Thank you to Ren and Taylor and John and Ka and Steven. You can find all the stuff that we do over at fanbyte.com. Links. That's all the stuff there. It didn't work. I typed out. There it is. The job application is right here. I will put the link in the fucking chat. It's right here. Please don't email me your application while we were doing this stream. Someone emailed me. Don't do that. I don't know if you're in here and watching.
Sorry, it was me.
Please don't. Don't use the link, please. You can ask Ren or Jay, our 2021 intern. Please stop emailing my wife. You can email, or you can DM them on Twitter. Their Twitter handles are in the article, and I think that's it. We're free. Who's live right now? Ka, who's live right now? Who am I rating?
Somebody funny.
Oh, so I'll just raid someone funny. Thanks, Khalif.
That's the way it works.
Oh, that reminds me, I didn't get to tell my very quick Greg Miller story about getting into this business, but I'll save that for another.
We'll save it for next time. I'll do another one of these closer to the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Actually,
talk about me being a process server. That was great.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. I'm not going to raid anybody because actually everybody needs to go eat
What?
food. You need to eat. Go eat. It's like 7:30 on the East Coast, and like if you're on the West Coast, it's like late lunchtime. So go get a snack. Get your second lunch, you know? And we'll be back tomorrow with video games on the video game website. Thank you so much for hanging out, folks, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.